All right, y'all, we're gonna check out this boudoir photographer. Gonna see if their local search and their city search, if they got BSS for either of those searches. We only got one search for them today. So we're back here in the GBC universe. We're taking declining boudoir photographers to becoming the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that, pinned post, pinned video. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our here in white, we got our intent spectrum here. High intent on the left, low intent on the right. And if the boudoir photographer is rising, they're usually bringing in all peeps from this entire intent spectrum, kind of all these cohorts. But if a boudoir photography business is falling, then they're missing some one or many cohorts here on this entire spectrum. So over on the left, which we talk about here, BSS focuses on the highest intent people. Google search, social search, those searching for boudoir photo shoots like ASAP right now in their city right now. Over on the right, that's where we focus on like the lowest intent people in our city. And that's our other sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. And right now, we only focus on working with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads over there. So that's what we got. Now, boudoir search sameness BSS is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. And 0 slots means they're on page 2 or deeper. We're effectively invisible because we know that approximately 80% of all Google searches never even hit page 2. They're page 1 only searches. And we care about these 80% because these peeps are, that's the bulk of the market. They approximately 80%. So most of the market, that's the bulk. And if we're invisible to them, that's killing our business. Also, 1 slot on page 1, also not good enough. It's not good enough because, there's 10 organic slots on page 1 of Google. And if we're missing 9, or if there's 9 of the boudoir photographers on page 1, then, then basically we're looking the same as everyone else. We're not standing out. And a buyer's just going to, click on everyone's link going down, contact everyone, price shop everyone, and literally, we're going to be price shopped to death, compared to death. Now, 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. Now, 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google, extremely common, but not normal. That means like we got big. It's not normal to have so few page 1 links on Google as a boudoir photographer. Either 0 or 1. Yeah, we got some big issues then if that's happening. And so market saturation, basically everyone knows about this one. This is when it seems like every week a new boudoir. It seems like someone's getting a new iPhone, they're throwing up their Google My Business profile, send that the National Boudoir, or and they got their website saying they're a boudoir photographer, and so they are, increasing the competition for the keywords on page 1, and increasing that competition, maybe kicking us off. And also, if someone gets, like a new camera now, they're posting the mom groups on Facebook saying that they offer boudoir photo shoots. And so that's market saturation. Also, big market saturation happened when COVID. A lot of people lost their jobs, but people still turned money somehow. And look, everyone's got a phone with a great camera, so kind of natural that a ton more people become, new boudoir photographers or offer boudoir photo shoot services. Now, the thing that most people don't know about is the false belief of page 1 equality, but more and more people are coming to know about it every day. So this is where, it's kind of auto-accepted by boudoir photographers, like, hey, every boudoir photographer basically gets 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. And yeah, I made my website was ranked on page 1, and and maybe market got a little saturated, we got pushed to page 2, and well, that's simply how it is. We are that's normal. And yeah, hopefully they delete their website so Google can re-rank us up on top or get us back on page 1. But that's not normal. Google will actually give us as many links on page 1 as we want to take, as we want to put in the effort to take. So it's basically like we're falsely believing, basically everyone gets 0 or 1 slots on page 1. No, that's incorrect. I know it's incorrect. So I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google in 10 days. Because I want to put in the effort to take as many slots as I want, and Google does give that. Google does give those links to people. Next, we also know that a boudoir photographer with BSS boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer, DBP. So we're building up our universe here on the left. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the 2 horns of market saturation and page 1 equality. Thankfully, we now finally have a solution to boudoir search sameness. That is social search saturation, our S-cubed methodology, which we invented. The way it works is it's exactly what it says. We saturate social search with the highest intent keywords, most relevant to what boudoir photography buyers are searching. And when you saturate these on the social media networks, that's kind of like, our small streams or small rivers coming down the backside of the Andes Mountains in South America. And when we do that enough, eventually they all flow together to the Amazon River. That's page one on Google. So kind of all these dominating these high intent keywords on the social networks will eventually flow to us dominating, as many links as we want to acquire on page one on Google for those searches. And also, a special thing about SQ methodology is it's the only strategy I've seen for boudoir photographers that can actually fight back against market saturation, overcome it, and still grow a business in a relatively fast time frame. The only other solution that had previously existed is building a brand, a well-known brand. Dude, that takes like 5 to 10 years. We literally ain't got 5 to 10 years anymore. AI is coming to eat people's, careers, livelihoods, and we gotta get moving. So how's SQ methodology overcome market saturation? So let's say we got 1 million boudoir photographers in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we're one of them. Everyone's got a website saying they shoot boudoir, and we actually, so we're one of the 1 million. We're like, all right, market is extra saturated here. We need to crank up SQ methodology to the max to actually give ourselves a shot here to keep growing, not simply maintain, but actually continue to grow. So we crank up SQ methodology to the max, and let's say put up the rank like the first 300 slots across all social networks for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in Raleigh. And as a result, that flows onto Google. And let's say we take the first 300 slots as well. So this would be like really ultra maxing it out, which is a very tiny possibility of actually ever happening. And so let's say, and as a result, anytime someone who wants boudoir searches on social or on Google, we're literally the only person they see for the first 300 slots. And Google is 10 slots per page, 10 slots organic search results per page. So literally the first 30 pages on Google is basically only us. And our competitors start showing up, page 31. But we already know approximately 80% of people ain't never even going to page 2. So ain't no one going to page 31 to find our competitors. So as a result, we're basically the only one our boudoir photographer or people who want boudoir can find. And we are, we're getting all the intake. Our business is the one that's still growing. Because we've taken over all the highest intent search slots. And so a lot of peeps, didn't even know this possibility existed because they had they kind of auto-accepted, implicitly accepted the false belief of page one equality. So that scenario in Raleigh, we're actually still growing the business, and everyone else, every other boudoir photographer is disappearing out of those million, but we are still growing the business and still successfully growing in the midst of massive market saturation. And this happens a lot quicker than brand. But kind of a bonus, long-term benefit is SQ methodology actually is the fastest way to reach a well-known brand. So imagine if you're a well-known brand and you still continue to use SQ methodology, you'll basically be unstoppable. Now, once you're with SQ methodology, we have page one visibility, P1V. And initial benefit of this is we're kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. And so, initial benefit of SQ methodology, we get more links, but on page one, on Google search. But as a result, every link we take, we're kicking basically a competing boudoir photographer off there, putting them back on page number 2. And we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. They're page 1 only searches. So we're making them visible to the bulk of the market, approximately 80% of the market that never even reaches page 2. So this is an awesome initial benefit. Second benefit of utilizing SQ methodology. And page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us, BSV. Now we do have a recommended minimum, a GBC recommended minimum of hitting 3 out of 10 page 1 links on Google. That's because, if Google's recommends 3 out of 10 times for the highest intent keywords, buyers are subconsciously going to be like, oh, why are they recommending this person so much? Come by the third time I see us. And they may even only click on our links, not even any of our competitors, even though we only have 3 out of 10 because we look so much better, so much larger, so much more recommended than the, basically than everyone else. Also, there's a very, very tiny, rare chance that another boudoir photographer will have 2 slots page 1 on Google. So we dominate them as well. When we got, basically when we got 3. So we dominate all the people that got 0 slots on page 1, or 1 slot on page 1, or 2 slots on page 1. We dominate everyone. And a boudoir photographer with BSE is a visible boudoir photographer, VBP. So this is our entire universe, micro universe here. We got a declining boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness, or a disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness. It's caused by the dual horns of market saturation and page 1 equality. Thankfully, we now have the solution, thank the universe. S-cubed methodology. We achieve page 1 visibility, we become a visible boudoir photographer, and we achieve boudoir search visibility. So now my results, me using SQ methodology. So I wanted to rank for the term BLCS Boudoir, and I exclusively used SQ methodology to do this. So I started out with 0 out of 10 links on Google page 1. And let's look at how many organic slots I got on Google page 1. I was able to get using SQ methodology. So we got organic slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, slot 4, slot 5, slot 6, slot 7, slot 8, and slot 10. So I literally got 9 out of 10 slots on Google page 1 search with only 10 days of utilizing SQ methodology. So these are the results that I've got for myself. All right, main event here. Gonna see if this boudoir photography business has BSS for their local and city search, but it looks like they got one search here. So we're combining the local and city. We're also gonna see if they hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google search. All right, so DeLand, Florida. All right, so, all right, we're here. All right, we got one slot. And yeah, one slot. Two slots, okay. That boudoir's in kind of the body text, smaller. But all right, we'll give you two slots here. All right, so we got 2 out of 10 slots, so good. So we do not have BSS, boudoir search sameness. We got 2 out of 10 slots, but we did not hit the recommended GBC recommended minimum 3 out of 10 slots in our search. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer and you've done your local search or city search for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, and you're seeing for any of those, local or city or any of the keywords, you got BSS, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum 3 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search, and you actually you're looking at all the highest intent keywords, and you're seeing that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. You're seeing Google actually give us as many page 1 slots on Google search as we want. And you're seeing that S-cubed methodology is the only solution forward, the only solution to have enough links where there's enough flow through to Google to actually put us on page 1. And you understand the market saturation. Yeah, people get new gear, market becomes more saturated. And you're also seeing that you're looking ahead to AI. And while you like the initial benefits to SQ methodology, more links page 1 Google search, more, basically more kicking other boudoir photographers off page 1. Google search is actually your favorite. You're competing with boudoir photographers. But you're looking at AI taking people's jobs right now. You know it's going to get better. So it's simply going to take more and more people's jobs into the future. And as a result, you're actually going to, a new flood of boudoir photographers is going to be entering the marketplace. So you actually realize you not only need the links, dude, you actually need to fortify your position on page 1. Literally like fortifying the levees down in Nolens, Louisiana, because that city's below sea level. You gotta have so many links on page 1, so many links Google wants to rank for you on page 1 that there's not enough slots, so they relegate you to start filling up pages 2, 3, and 4 to basically guarantee no other competing boudoir photographer currently can essentially ever rank on page 1, nor any any future competing boudoir photographer who comes into the marketplace because they took their job basically ever has a chance to rank on page 1 either. So you want to prevent both those scenarios. And you're seeing again, SQ methodology is the only solution that can give that many links to, super fortify you. And you want to achieve page 1 visibility. You want to become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. And you do not, and you need these things in order to become, on your path to become the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you're liking the future benefits of SQ methodology because you understand it well. Basically building these invisible thematic keyword columns, having the back in cyberspace, these columns that are plugged in to the kind of this, this cloud of you, your business name, your brands, your social handles, your website, everything kind of about your business, plugging in these invisible thematic keyword columns, kind of building up this back-end AI keyword mindshare that's invisible. And every day we successfully execute SQ methodology and build this up, we're actually increasing the probability we're going to show up here at the top of AI overview for search in our city. And as a result, this is the highest, the highest probability, the most premium placement, the highest tier placement we got here. and cannot pay for it. It's all organic. And SQ methodology, highest probability of giving us this. And also, that same probability recommended here, increase in probability that we show up in all the AI search apps. So, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. We're increasing the probability we show up in all of these. And this is important because AI search is getting bigger every single day. Every single day, every single day, every single day. And standard Google search decreasing every single day. And last time I did an AI search for Boudoir photographer in a city, I used ChatGPT. It recommended me 3. I actually then went to do a manual search in that city with Google standard search and searching on Facebook. And dude, I found like 60. It's like, man, we got to find any way to get, recommended these AI searches if there's only 3 slots available, because I mean, that's so many eyeballs for us. And again, SQ methodology is the only strategy that is given these invisible thematic keyword columns, kind of building it up in the back end. So you're liking these feature benefits. You're also liking the feature benefit of SQ methodology can help build a large, well-known brand approximately 8x faster than all the other standard methods out there. You also understand and like that my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city. And as a result, you're actually able to get all these benefits and kick your competitors off and prevent them from using these benefits at all. And you're basically able to kind of build up a kind of a moat, kind of a large gap with the back-end AI keyword mindshare that we're going to be doing to be recommended these AI apps higher and higher and higher probability out into the future. And building up a massive gap to where basically your competitors, the gap could be big enough where they could never catch you. So that's why you've decided to be first mover advantage. And your city can hop on this first, because you understand the converse. If one of your boudoir photographers competitors actually signed up to use this first, then you'd be locked out of this. They'd be getting all these slots page 1 Google search, kicking you off page 1 Google search, and then be relegated to page 2 or deeper. You would be building up that massive AI mindshare for them and their brand, and you'd be stuck in the dust. We're building up a massive gap, larger and larger every single day against you to be recommended AI search. And as a result, in order for you to compete, you would actually have to rederive SQ methodology on your own, which means you'd actually have to drive it first in the first place. And since you've never derived it before, you would actually have no idea if you've derived it correctly, yes or no. But then you'd have to execute equal to us every single day. And even if you did all that, well, all you've done is you're maintaining the gap that me and your competitor already have ahead of you. So to close on that gap, you'd actually have to increase your effort and do like 2 to 3x what we do every single day to close that gap. But you're not even confident you've derived the technology, the strategy correctly in the first place. So probably wouldn't even feel confident putting in that much time and effort to do all these things. And like, dude, who's even got 80 hours to do all this stuff? So you're like, yeah, you've decided, yeah, you're simply gonna be the first mover here and not wait, because this is too good of an opportunity to pass up. So if that's you, shoot us a DM. Our hospital is currently closed for new patient intake, but when we do open the hospital back up again for new patient intake, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify to utilize our S-cubed methodology.